Okay, so I had to put my new tank on that I didn't want to do. I wanted to use that for the heater in the camper, but something happened and I lost all the gas from this one. And this one's also frozen into the ground. I can't move it. And on top of that, my pork chops that I had sitting out here so I could fry them up after this. Not that it really matters, they can still be fried up, but they're frozen. They're all frozen. They're actually stuck together because they're frozen. Anyway, they froze out here. They weren't frozen when I brought them out here, but they've been out here for, well, how long have they been out here? Okay, well, for about an hour and a half, I guess, and they're frozen solid. So that gives you an idea how cold it is out here anyway. Alright, I'll put this here. I'm going to go back inside for a minute. Oh. Well, the next thing is I'm going to have to start tapping my overdraft to buy propane. That's all. It is what it is. We can't freeze to death. So I'll do what I have to do. Hi, beautiful. My God, eh? You know, and then we got that bitch, Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister, cackling away, going on about how we have to pay all these high taxes on energy so that we can suffer, so that we will understand the harm that we're doing to the planet by doing things like driving and having heat so we don't freeze to death and whatnot. You know, anyway, yeah, real piece of work she is. Yeah, that's what we got running this country. And that other numbskull Trudeau, he's pretty much destroyed our economy. Not that it was doing great even before him, but now it's completely destroyed. And he's totally destroyed our economy. And he's made it a priority in Canada. The number one priority in Canada now is to be a homosexual or a transsexual. But, you know, the problem with that is we haven't figured out how to convert homosexuality into groceries. So, I mean, you know, I don't know how you run an economy based on a sexual deviation, really. I don't quite know how that works. And obviously nobody else does either, because the economy is in the toilet while they're doing this. And if others understood how to do it, and I'll admit most people are smarter than I am, and I got to figure just because I don't understand it, that doesn't mean it's beyond understanding. It could just be that I'm stupid. And a lot of the time that is what it is too, is just that I'm not very bright. But in this case, it looks like nobody else has been able to figure it out either, because our economy is completely done. And if there was money in homosexuality and transsexualism, well, we'd be doing very well here now, but we're not. So, because I mean, our whole country, our whole culture, and everything now is about homosexuality and transsexual stuff. Like we're basically, we have a country now that's the total focus of the country, is being a homosexual or a transsexual. You know, putting tampons in men's washrooms, having 50-year-old men joining the swim team with the 13-year-old girls and going in the changing room with them and everything. That's literally happening here. And in the meantime, we're being taxed to death and told that we have to suffer because we're destroying the planet by not being dead by these globalist sons of bitches. You know, I mean, it's got to end. It's just got to end, that's all. And it's amazing how many people up here despise Trump and wish that that crazy Harris got in as president down there. And really, she's just a female version of what we have up here of Trudeau. And her and Biden have done a lot of horrible things down there. I'm glad she didn't get to be president, and I'm glad Biden's gone. And I would really like it if they both had to go to prison. I'd also like it if our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and our Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland, had to go to prison. I don't believe that's going to happen, but that's what I think should happen. Anyway, bottom line is, I'm glad that the Americans got rid of what they got rid of. And as far as all this business with Trump is concerned, that he's going to put tariffs on Canada and all the rest of it, well, I mean, we think we're going to retaliate by putting tariffs on U.S. goods coming up here. But the thing is, our economy is nothing. The entire population of Canada is just about the same as the population of the state of California alone, you know. It's just nothing. So the market isn't here. They really don't care if they lose our market. And I mean, we got this prime minister who's just useless and doesn't know how to negotiate. And, you know, frankly, I don't blame Trump for looking after American interests first. That's what our prime minister should be doing. But instead, he's fixated on marching down the street with the homosexuals and on rainbow crosswalks and political correctness and wokeism and ski holidays at Tofino. That's his big thing. And going to the World Economic Forum there and seeing his mentor, Klaus Schwab. So yeah, like I say, I have, I just look at it that way. We need a prime minister here that will look after our interest first above everything else. You know, the way that Trump will look after the interest of the Americans. So, I mean, I don't blame him. He's their president, not our president. There's some talk that he wants to be our president, but, I mean, he isn't at the present time anyway, so he's their president, not ours. So, his job is to look out for their interest, even if that damages us. And really, I mean, look, if we get damaged, it's because we've allowed ourselves to get into a position where we can be damaged. Because when we should have been taking care of business, when we should have been growing our economy, what were we doing? We were painting sidewalks and crosswalks and all pretty rainbow colors and being all socially, politically correct. And you can't say that. Or that somebody might feel upset if you say that. You can't say that. We'll put you in jail if you say that. That's a hate crime. You can't say that. You can't say, did you disapprove of what we're doing here? And it's like, yeah. We can't run a country on the basis of a sexual deviation. We just can't. It's not crazy. I mean, look, if I was running a store, and let's say my store was Tom's House of Homosexuality. Buy all your homosexual supplies here at Tom's House of Homosexuality. Well, I mean, I don't know what homosexual supplies are exactly, but I suppose I'd have to find out and start selling that stuff. But could I make a go of it? Probably not. Because the market wouldn't be there. Because the truth is, those people are in the minority. So, and even a lot of them recognize that they've lost a lot of ground because of all this crap. People are resenting them. See, I don't really resent them. What I resent is this government that's using them as a distraction while they're doing all this other stuff. And in the end, I know damn well these globalists, they'll throw the homosexuals under the bus as quick as look at them. They don't love and care about homosexuals any more than they care about anyone else. You know, they really don't. But I mean, if I opened up a store and that's what it was, Tom's House of Homosexuality, you know, homosexual shop or whatever, I mean, it would not go. It'd go under. And see, the thing is, we've got a whole country here where everything is now based upon that. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's just weird. That's all. Anyway, and weirdness doesn't generally sell. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. I mean, maybe it'd be nice if it did. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an opinion about that, but I know it doesn't. So, in the end, we gotta focus on getting things back in order, getting our house in order. A lot of us don't have a house anymore because we can't afford to have a house. You know, and more are joining our ranks every day. You know, there are more and more of us going out onto the damn street, living in vehicles and living in tents in the woods and sleeping on benches and everything. It's insanity. You know, it's total insanity. Anyway, on that cheerful note, yeah, I am happy that Harris and Biden are gone. And I think that was a damn dirty trick that Biden played today. Just for the record, giving Fauci and those other assholes pardons. I think Fauci should be hung up by his friggin' thumbs. You know, that's what I think of him. But anyway, so it's natural that I wouldn't approve of that. But I mean, even if I didn't dislike him like I do, it'd be hard to deny that there's some serious questions need to be asked about what he has done. You know, about he has kind of a bad history, you know, and it does need to be looked into. And but you know how it goes, eh? All the rats now are jumping ship, and they're protecting each other. That's what's happening. This is nearly boiled. Usually, if you give it a little shake, that helps it along. Circulates the water there, gets the hot water to come up and the cold water to go around, and everything mixes and boils quicker. Anyway, once it starts whistling, then I'll know it's ready. Bottom line is, even though there's all this talk of tariffs and everything, and that's probably going to hurt our economy even worse than it already is hurting. Like I say, I don't really blame Trump because I figure he's looking after his own people's interests, which is his job. It's not his job to look after my interest. I'm not an American citizen. So, you know, we have as the Prime Minister here who's supposed to look after my interest. But I'm not a member of one of the favored groups, I guess, so my interests don't get looked after. And even the favored groups don't really get looked after because, as I said before, they're just being used. That's all. They're being used to promote a globalist agenda, and it's actually really sad. And some of them see through it. Some of them do. You know, these aren't stupid people. Being a homosexual doesn't mean that you're a stupid person. It means that you have a deviation from what would be normal, in the sense that where your attraction lies, but it doesn't mean that you're a stupid person. And you know, there are a number of them who do see what's going on and realize that they're being used, and they also realize that they're losing ground because there's a lot of resentment. And all I can against them now, and all I can say is we shouldn't resent them. It's not them that's hurting us. I mean, so we shouldn't resent them. We should resent the ones who are using them to that end. And all this foolishness about tampons and boys and men's washrooms and stuff. And you know, you can't get away with saying that a man doesn't get pregnant or a man doesn't menstruate. Like, what kind of, you know? I mean, Like they want to make it a crime. It already is kind of a crime. It's considered a hate speech if you say that a man can't menstruate, because apparently a man can menstruate if he wants to, or something, if he identifies as somebody who can, or whatever. This is how crazy things are. I got into a debate with a woman on Facebook, which I should really not do, but I did, about all this. And I told her, I said, look, I don't care. You can identify as a damn toaster oven for all I care. But, it's the fact that I'm expected to also identify you as a toaster oven. And look, if you are a toaster oven, or whatever you are, then you should be treated accordingly. Like, look, we plug a toaster oven into the wall and we cram food into it. So, we expect the food then to be cooked. So, I mean, if somebody does identify that way, then I guess that gives us a right to plug them into the wall and shove a bagel with cheese on it into them or something. Really. I mean, that guy who's on the 13-year-old girls, in with the 13-year-old girls on the swim team, that 50-year-old man, he should be living like a 13-year-old girl if that's what he identifies as. What business does he have living on his own and driving a car and everything? 13-year-old girls freeze their asses off at the bus stop. They don't drive cars. So you want to be a 13-year-old girl and have naked time with the other 13-year-old girls in the change room? Good on you. You'll be needing to turn in your license. You'll be needing to move into some place with a guardian to look after you and to supervise you, to make sure that you go to bed on time and that you eat properly and so on like that. That you're looked after and that you have a curfew. That you come in at a certain time and so on. That you're in the house by a certain time every night and so on like that. And, like I say, you need to give up your license. We'll get you a bus pass. 13-year-old girls don't carry driver's licenses. They carry bus passes. And we'll get you enrolled in high school. Get you into grade 9 if you're a 13-year-old girl. But no, he's not living like a 13-year-old girl in any other respect. So I can't help but to not take him seriously myself. But anyway, that's just me, and I am a hateful bigot. So there you go. Anyway, I got to put this one together. I'm relieved to at least have my last water bottle bag together tonight. I really didn't want to use that new tank of propane out there, but I haven't had a choice, and it just is what it is. I lost all my propane from the other tank, so anyway, that's it for now. We'll see you later. My God, what a crazy world we're living in. It just builds up sometimes. I know sometimes I get pretty angry and I say some pretty things that may offend people, but I do mean what I say. I am tired of it, and I know I'm not the only one. There's lots of us that are just at the end of our ropes. That all I can say is I don't blame. I blame some of the homosexuals and transsexuals who are going along with this stuff, but I don't blame the community as a whole of these people. I blame the politicians and other people like that are pushing things and that are using them as a means of destabilizing society and attacking the traditional family and all the rest of it. That's what and destabilizing society by doing that. That's what I object to. And look, it isn't hate speech to point out that if you identify as a certain thing, you identify as a cat, well, guess what? Rocky here, he eats when I feed him, and he eats what I feed him. He goes outside when I open the door and let him out. When he was a kitten, I took him to the vet and I had him fixed, had his testicles removed. If you want to live like a cat, that's the life you'll live. Now, I don't think Rocky minds it, and I'm certainly not abusive toward Rocky. I love Rocky. But still, not many men would want to live Rocky's life. Not many self-respecting men would, anyway. And but still, if you identify as a cat, well, that's the life you're supposed to be leading. If you identify as a 13-year-old girl, well, then, like I say, get you a bus pass. Hang up your car keys, get you a bus pass, get yourself into a house with a guardian to look after you and to tell you what to do. Get yourself enrolled in grade 9 and all the rest of it, you know, because that's what 13-year-old girls do. Like, you know, but I've noticed they don't want to do that. I don't see these people that identify as cats lining up to get spayed or neutered. I don't see that man that wants to go and be naked in the change room with the 13-year-old girls giving up his driver's license. That fella from Rebel News there, the old fella with the hat there, isn't that awful? I can't think of his name now, but he's one of the reporters there. He actually followed him across the parking lot outside the swimming pool because he was trying to interview him. Of course, the guy don't want anything. And David Menzies, that's the guy's name. That fella didn't want anything to do with David Menzies, you know. He followed the guy right to his car. I saw the guy get into his car, close the door, and drive off. David Menzies was standing outside the car yelling at him through the window, you know, saying, "Hey, you want to talk?" You know, the guy's backing out of the space. So, I mean, that's a 13-year-old. You know where the other 13-year-old girls on the swim team were? They were standing out front, freezing, waiting for their parents to come get them. Or down at the corner at the bus stop, waiting for the bus. That's where they were. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll talk later. It's just common sense. We'll talk later.